You know, in the tech world, there are certain certifications that just immediately signal a high level of expertise. For anyone working with the cloud, the AWS Certified Solutions Architect Associate exam seems to be one of the big ones.
It really is. It's become a benchmark. Essentially, passing this exam, the SAA-C03, tells the world you know how to build robust, efficient, and modern infrastructure on AWS.
So, what does that actually involve? The exam seems to focus on designing solutions that are secure, resilient, high performing, and cost optimized. It's 65 questions. You need a score of 720 to pass, and it's broken down into those four main areas.
Exactly. And it's not just about memorizing services, it's about proving you can think like an architect and solve real business problems using the AWS toolkit. The demand for people who can do that is massive.
That makes sense. So, to really get ready for something like this, you have to master those core domains. Let's start with the biggest one, which is security. What are the most critical aspects of designing secure architectures in AWS?
Well, when it comes to securing AWS, it all starts with secure access. You're dealing with IAM, which is identity and access management, multi-account strategies, and of course protecting that all-powerful root user account. It's about using users, groups, and policies, and always applying the principle of least privilege.
Right, the principle of least privilege. I hear that a lot.
It's absolutely non-negotiable. The core idea is to give a user or a service just enough access to perform a specific task and nothing more. Doing that dramatically reduces your potential attack surface.
You also mentioned managing multiple accounts. I imagine for a growing company, that could get messy fast. How does something like IAM Identity Center help prevent that from becoming a security nightmare?
That's a great question. IAM Identity Center is a game changer here. Think of it as a single control panel for all your user access. Instead of creating and managing separate IAM users in every single one of your AWS accounts, you centralize your user directory. From there, you can grant access to specific accounts or even specific applications using predefined permission sets.
I see. So you set it up once, and it applies everywhere you need it to.
Precisely. Let's say you onboard a new developer who needs read-only access to 3 different project accounts. You configure that one time in Identity Center, and it just works. It simplifies everything from onboarding to offboarding and ensures you have consistent security rules across your entire organization. It's huge for governance.
Got it. So centralizing access and sticking to least privilege are the big takeaways for security. But of course, a secure system that's always down isn't very useful. This brings us to the next pillar, resilience. What does designing for resilience in AWS actually look like?
Designing resilient architectures is all about making sure your applications can handle failures and keep the business running. This usually means deploying your resources across multiple availability zones, or even multiple regions, and using key services like elastic load balancing to distribute traffic, auto-scaling to manage capacity, and AWS backup for data protection.
So it's about having redundancy built in.
Yes, but it's more than that. Resilience isn't just about surviving a single server going down. It's about building systems that can gracefully handle failures, maybe by degrading performance slightly or recovering automatically, all with minimal downtime for the end user.
Okay, that makes sense. Spreading things out across AZs and using tools like load balancers and auto-scaling are the keys to resilience. Now, once you have a system that's secure and resilient, how do you make sure it's also performing at its best without breaking the bank?
That brings us to the final 2 pillars, which are really a balancing act: high performance and cost optimization. This is all about selecting the right tools for the job. For performance, you're choosing the right compute instances, the right storage types, and maybe using caching. For cost, you're making sure you're not over-provisioning, maybe using savings plans for predictable workloads, and constantly monitoring your spending.
I can see how those two are tied together. Pushing for maximum performance could easily lead to runaway costs if you're not careful.
It's a constant trade-off. You have to pick services that meet your performance needs without just throwing money at the problem. For example, simply choosing the right EC2 instance family for your workload, one that's compute optimized versus memory optimized, can have a huge impact on both performance and your monthly bill.
Exactly. So, from security and resilience to performance and cost, these 4 pillars are what AWS certification is all about.
To sum it up, the AWS SAA-C03 exam really validates your skill across these 4 key domains. You have to master secure design, which is grounded in IAM and the principle of least privilege. Then you need to build for resilience using multiple availability zones, load balancing, and auto-scaling. And finally, you have to balance high performance and cost efficiency by making smart choices about services, right-sizing your resources, and using cost-saving tools like savings plans. Getting all 4 right is what makes a great solutions architect.